Alrighty. So, I did a video before you came down on my favorite Office characters. So as you can
Oh,
see,
fun.
I did a top 6. So, I don't know if you're in agreement or not.
Oh, mine would probably be in a different order. They're all fun, though.
So,
Meredith.
no
You're so
Kevin.
funny.
Kevin, though, gets an honorable mention. So, because for me, the thing
a
with Kevin,
candy bar.
see, and that's what I was talking about in the video. The problem with Kevin is that he would cross that line between kind of dumb and innocent to creepy, and it's when he
He's
crossed the line
definitely
into creepy that,
sometimes.
when he talks about, I gotta go clean up my computer, there's some stuff on there, and it's like, huh?
He's definitely kind of.
There's the one episode where they're like, well, not every Kevin doesn't get full internet access, and he's like, wait, what? Because so there's things there that are kind of creepy. So it's what keeps him from being in the top. And then when Pam's got her glasses because she can't find her contacts, and he's asking her to talk like a librarian because it's all sexy for him. So she takes her glasses off because she'd rather work blind than have him hitting on her.
Yeah, that would be the exact reaction I would have too. Yep, well, okay, not wearing those now.
Yep. All right, so we're going to finish this off tonight. There's only 4 pages left.
That's not very
in
long.
This one. No.
I'm just saying 4 pages isn't very long.
But it's the end of volume 1.
I know, but that's not very long.
I know this. But we need to have a separating line between this book and the next book. I can't just run into the next volume.
Yeah, you can, because then it gets people hooked on the next one. So then they can't be like, well, I'm done with that book. So you start the next one, and they're like, oh, I have to watch the next one to find out what happens.
Okay. Well, yeah, but
Book
see,
grabs them in.
So Mike goes into what Katie thinks is a new galaxy. That's the last time we see Mike in this book. So Mike Translow is gone from this book now. All right, it is a humiliating return home for Sibel, carried as a prisoner aboard a shuttle from Falteres. When the door opens and he leaves the shuttle with his hands cuffed behind his back, Altilians gathered to see the spectacle. He's certain that his career is over. He's exposed as a failure. At the foot of the ramp leading off the shuttle, he's handed off from Falteres to Altil, and then he watches as his former captors head back to their shuttle and leave the planet without incident. This would be the perfect time to attack and kill them all, make them pay for their nerve at trying to foil a plan so intricate and perfect that Sibel cannot fathom that it's actually over. Sibel is left to stand and await the sentence with his people looking on. This is the tradition for prisoners of war, and this is the last position he ever imagined himself being in. He was better than this. He'd make Mike Translow pay for this outrage if he ever got the chance. He wanted to slowly bleed the man dry and watch him suffer. The plan had been moved forward so very well, and mankind was on the verge of being wiped out. They had been very close to their ultimate victory. Gora appears at the door to the government building they refer to as the Hall of Kings, as this is where all decisions regarding the world are made. Gora rules this planet as its king, so he has to make a majestic entrance. He slowly makes his way to Sibel and the rest of the prisoners of war, his head down, no emotion clear on his face. There is a begrudging respect Sibel has for Gora. After all, Sibel's a year older than Gora and has a tremendous amount of military experience going for him, as well as a strong following with his people. He was the right-hand man for Geyer towards the end of his life, and even ran portions of the government outside the public eye. He respected Gora as the offspring and rightful heir to the throne, though he believed the world would be better suited to have him as its leader. This ambition boiled beneath the surface, and a moment like this could bring it out, though such an admission by Sibel here and now would spell his certain death. He speaks to Gora first, which is actually against tradition in a situation such as this. My lord, I wish we met under better conditions. As do I, Gora says. He looks at the gawking crowd around them and decides not to continue the conversation here. He points the other prisoners of war and tells the guards, take them to the cells I specified earlier. As you wish, one guard says, and the three men then do as they're told. Gora leads Sibel into the Hall of Kings and looks back to make certain there's no one listening to them. Though no one appears to be listening, there are devices that can be tiny, and it's easy for anyone to look around, or to be anyone around them to be secretly taping everything that's said here. He has to be careful, even to the point of being paranoid. Once the door is closed behind them, and the soundproof building provides them with the protection from prying ears, Gora is finally free to speak his mind. We overstepped our bounds there, he admits. Sibel pauses. How so? With Arcology 652, we learned what makes them tick. In Arcology 443, we learned we can make them kill, rape, commit suicide. Arcology 1237 wasn't necessary, and you told me that after 443. That's why I've decided not to kill you for being foolish, Gora says. Again, Sibel's given pause. Foolish? How was I foolish? Gora is surprised Sibel even has to ask that. I can list the ways you screwed up over there. You let Mike live. That was your first mistake since I told you to kill him on sight. Now you know why I gave you that order. You then managed to lose a battle to Earthlings, of all people. You were filmed by Earth's security cameras and media. Earth declared war on us. As has Falteres, Sibel adds. Gora laughs. Oh, they tried. Mike Translow tried so hard, but to no avail. I managed to get Talia Lares to backtrack. She would have apologized to me for Altilians being harmed in the course of these events if I'd told her to. No, we're still going ahead with plans to exterminate the humans. That hasn't changed. If anything, I'm more determined than ever. Sibel shakes his head. They're so stupid, it's almost a shame to kill all of them off. Still, Falteres will make a fine second home for our people. We just have to eradicate the dominant life form there, and then we can take our rightful place. It has been a very long time that our people... It has been said for a very long time our people shall dominate the galaxy. We are the ones who have figured out dimensional shifting, parallel universes, wormholes on a level our enemy never will. Now, the issue becomes one of when we strike. Strike where, Earth or Falteres? Sibel asks. Gora laughs before he answers. We started to wipe Earth out with their arcologies, so we continue with that plan. Falteres is simply too suspicious of our movements right now to go after them. Besides, our experiments there are at a dead end, so we have nothing left to learn. There I kindly disagree with you, my lord, Sibel says with a slight bow. It makes him sick to bow to anyone, especially someone who's a year younger than him. He used to babysit Gora, and now he's his lapdog. He feels somewhat nauseated. When we were on Arcology 1237, we found one subject who was quite curious. Curious how? Well, his DNA was different from that of the rest of the humans on board. He didn't appear any different from the rest of those people, but he was very different. I had intended to work on him further, but they escaped. I saw footage shot by one of the men who was there. Moments before he was killed, that man escaped our trap. Gora's eyes widened, distorting the rolls around the rest of his face. No human can move a limb in our trap. That's its sole function, to immobilize humans. Well, he got free and he shot like a madman when he did. What of the legends, Gora? The legends of the spirit who could kill us all. Sibel was not a religious man, but his question had been haunting him since the battle on 1237. I do not believe in prophecy, Gora says with a scowl that causes most of his face to disappear behind the rolls. You know better than to bring such things up in front of me? Nevertheless, this man possesses certain abilities, and we would be foolish not to capture him if we can and learn whatever is possible of him, his origins, and see if there is something genetically that he has been the genesis of. Perhaps evolution's throwing a curveball at us. Sibel doesn't really believe in this stuff, but it just seems so odd to him. He wants to dissect John Webster for days. Cause him pain, take him apart, put him back together again. Maybe there's a secret to eternal life in this man's genetic code. Gora looks Sibel in the eyes. My father fought alongside you. That's why you have to keep your job. You got to keep your job, privately anyway. In the mind of the public, you've been killed for treason with your acts against the Earthlings. I'll see their leader and work my magic to convince them that they should not war with us, that we are a kind people. You will work with a shadow force I've been working on for some time. I guess I have to step things up with their training, but we'll deal with it. What is the subject's name? John Webster, Sibel answers. We shall capture him, perform tests on him, and destroy him then. Gora agrees, and he shakes hands with Sibel. They continue their walk as allies, though Gora is still convinced he might be better off killing Sibel. Next scene, and the final scene of this volume. And with that, thank you for getting through this if you did. If you didn't, I can't thank you because you're not watching. Talia Lares is awoken from her sleep to find someone is calling her. She sits up in bed and yawns. This had better be something important. It was hard enough for her to get to sleep. She answers to find a video image of Cale Rightly on her nightstand. The old man's face is rather jarring when one doesn't expect it. What is it, General? Temp's moon Bryn has destroyed itself, he says, his eyes wide with terror. Why are you not talking to Temp's leaders about this? I'm really tired, and I really could not care less. I don't know if this was self-destruction, Miss Lares, but you just said it was. There's been talk about secret missions to Temp's moon for some time. They started when Altarian settlers failed to remain there. What kind of missions? There's talk of a ship being built there. Now, if that ship destroyed their moon, it'd be terrifying for us all. Talia sighs. I agree that would be alarming, but I do not want to be bothered until you have proof that this is happening. It would be a challenge to acquire such proof. My soldiers are very on edge with everything that's happened, and some of them appear to be missing. I am telling you, after what happened at Earth, wheels have been set in motion. I don't know if we can stop them. I'm trying my best, but I don't know that I can stop them. She shakes her head. I don't want to have this conversation right now. You talk to me when you have proof and not some paranoid delusions. We have to give things time to settle down properly. I need some sleep. Temp will deal with anything that happened to Bryn. It's not my concern. She hangs up on Kale and rolls over into bed to go to sleep, muttering, this is none of her concern. However, it will be soon. And that's the end of the book.
That's really short reading for today.
I know, but I'm just... I know it's short reading from today, but that's the end of the first book. So, I apologize. I apologize to people out there as well. It is a short reading, but we're a third of the way through the entire book. And, so yeah, we will get into part 2, and then part 3 is... Where's part 3? So in part 2, we get into why John's different. We get into John's family, because we talked about his brothers in the first part. The second part gets more into his brothers. Jimmy was introduced towards the end of the first book there, so we get into more of that. The girl that survived 652, she's in it as well, and we get more into that. And then the characters kind of shift around as I got more comfortable with who I wanted to focus on going forward. And again, a lot of my coworkers I'd already killed off in that battle on level 48, so I had to tell them, sorry you didn't make it. So the ones that survived, they became part of this new force that I talk about in the second book. And Earth, which is kind of considered to be inconsequential, is major, because Earth... So at this point, Earth has said, alright, we're at war with Altel. Falteries is saying we're not in this. We don't want anything to do with it. And Mike has led his rebellious group, not calling them the rebels, because I can't do that, but his rebellious group that are saying, yeah, no, we don't believe in any of this. We're going to go and help Earth. So that's kind of Mike's idea right now with the Peace Restorer, is giving Earth something that they can fight Altelians with, that Altel and Gora and Sibel wouldn't be counting on, because they wouldn't know it exists. So that's the ace in the hole, and that's where I ended that book, knowing darn well I was going to start a second one right after. The second one I started, I think it was a day after I finished the first. I finished the first and went, oh, that was nice, and I had a moment of, oh, a book's done. And it's an incredible feeling when you finish a book, and then immediately my brain went, and we got to continue, because you can't leave it there. So
Right.
There you go. Thank you guys so much for your time, for your attention, if you watch this. And this is the end of Volume 1. But again, we're only a third of the way through the actual book itself. And I will continue that if people want me to. If people want me to stop here,
Then don't watch the videos and keep your mouth shut.
it's perfectly fine if you don't want me to continue.
Then just don't watch
Yvonne was fine with that. She doesn't really care.
I like story time. So.
This hasn't become a thing in our house. It's
yes,
not her favorite thing.
Yes, I really like story time. It's great.
So
I get to see Shannon.
So yeah.
I get to see him.
Thank you guys so much for all your support. It means a lot. Again, we're in strange times, and depending on which source you listen to, we might be in strange times for the next year, 2, however long. I don't know. I'm just taking it one day at a time. That's really all we can do. And finding ways of helping people out that I can when I can, and all of that other wonderful stuff. So be safe, be careful, and take care of yourselves and each other. And I will be doing more of these readings. Probably I'll take like 3 weeks off, and then we'll come back in 3 weeks and we'll start doing this again.
It's not a thing.
So yeah, thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
And I will talk to you guys again very, very soon. So thanks so much for all your support. And I will be doing gaming live streams on this channel as well. So keep your eyes open for those. But for now, that's it for the story time. And I will talk to you guys again tomorrow.